This is an elephant. This is an anthill. And this is what happens when an elephant steps on an anthill. The elephant was just chilling out, minding his own business, walking through the jungle, looking for some food, when suddenly he stepped on something hard. He didn't realize what it was, so he just kept walking. But then he felt something strange under his foot. It was so small that at first he didn't notice it. But then he started to feel a tiny stinging pain. He looked down and saw an ant biting his foot. At first, the elephant tried to ignore it. After all, it was just one little ant. But then more ants showed up, biting and stinging the elephant's foot. The elephant was furious. How dare these tiny insects bite him? He shook his foot, trying to get rid of them. But they just kept coming back. The elephant lifted his foot up in the air and brought it down hard on the anthill. He crushed hundreds of ants, but somehow this made the anthill even angrier. Thousands of ants poured out of the anthill and attacked the elephant. They climbed up his leg and into his ear. They crawled under his tusks and into his trunk. The elephant was going crazy. He had never felt so much pain in his life. And then he saw the biggest ant he had ever seen before. It was the queen of all the ants. She was huge, like the size of a small dog, and she was angry. The elephant could feel her anger. It was like a burning flame, and he knew he had to do something to stop her, or else she would destroy him. The elephant trumpeted loudly and charged at the anthill. He smashed it with his tusks and sent the ants flying. He kept charging at the anthill, smashing it over and over again until it was completely destroyed. The elephant had won the battle, but he was exhausted. He had never fought so hard in his life. He needed to rest. But when he tried to sit down, he saw that there was something strange on his foot. There was a little drop of water. At first, he didn't think much of it, but then he looked closer and realized that it was actually a single drop of dew. A single drop of dew from a blade of grass that had landed on his foot during the battle. The elephant was confused. Why was there a drop of dew on his foot? And then he noticed something even stranger. All around his foot, there were also blades of grass. The elephant looked down at his foot and saw that there was a tiny green sprout growing out of it. It was a grass seed that had been on his foot during the battle. And now it was starting to grow. The elephant was amazed. He had never seen anything like this before. And then he felt something strange on his other foot. He looked down and saw another sprout. And then another one. And then he realized what was happening. The ants had not only attacked him, they had also brought him a gift. They had brought him new life. The elephant looked at the sprouts on his feet and smiled. He had never been so happy to see anything in his life. The ants had shown him that even in the darkest of times, life can find a way to grow. The elephant decided right then and there that he would never kill an anthill again. Instead, he would protect them. After all, they had taught him a very important lesson about life. Do you know what the moral of this story is? Don't mess with nature. Even the smallest of creatures can teach us the most important of lessons, if we are willing to listen. And ants are definitely not the kind of creature you want to mess with. They're strong, brave, and incredibly smart. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you have to fight an elephant, remember the ants. They may be small, but they are mighty.